We now have added urgency to press ahead with implementation of reforms and a chance to help schools in our state improve. Having this flexibility will empower Oklahoma teachers to focus on each individual student and their growth. No Child Left Behind is a positive bipartisan reform that brought focus to accountability and to rigor. And now it's time to take the next step. With today's announcement, no longer will schools in Oklahoma struggle to meet goals that don't always account for growth. Instead, we can focus on effective instruction in the classroom. We all know that Oklahoma is overflowing with incredible potential and entrepreneurial spirit that can put our state in the top tier of economic success. There are only a few factors holding us back, and I believe our students are ready to deliver amazing results. What's needed is a combination of the right reforms that taps into the hard work and talent of our state's teachers and school leaders. Indeed, Oklahoma's plan for flexibility from No Child Left Behind is not a step back from reform, but a bold move forward. I also want to strongly emphasize that today's announcement of a waiver should in no way impede efforts in Congress to reauthorize ESEA. U.S. House of Education Chairman Klein is hard at work on legislative solutions, and we must support his efforts. While those efforts in Congress move forward, we will also move quickly to implement the C3 plan to ensure students in the state are college, career, and citizen ready by the time they graduate. So once again, congratulations and thank you so very much. It's now at this time that I would like to request that Senator John Ford, Chairman of the Senate Education Committee, come forward and give his perspective. Senator.
Superintendent, Madam Secretary, board members, staff, thank you and congratulations. In our life, every one of us, I think, needs as a goal continuous improvement every day. That's what we need in the education of our students, continuous improvement every day. I think this waiver is a step in the right direction in allowing us to continue that progress. I look at it, number one, I think it complements and allows us to move forward with what I feel are some very significant reforms that we have implemented in the last couple of years. I think the waiver does that. Secondly, and many of you that know me say the one thing I talk about probably more than anything is local empowerment. I believe in the power of the local school boards, the parents, the grandparents, the business people that live in a community. They know what's best for their children in that community, and I think this waiver allows us to give them more influence and ability over the education of their children. And number three, I think this waiver looks more at the individual student, the individual child, sets the growth of that child, and not an absolute number is what we're reaching. We're trying to make every child in this state a better child, a better student, a better citizen. That's the continuous improvement that I believe this waiver will allow us to help accomplish. Thank you all very much.
Senator, thank you, and thank you for your leadership. Appreciate that. Next, I'd like to invite Representative Ann Cootie also to present her remarks.
Thank you so much, Superintendent Barresi. I'm excited to be here among all these wonderful educators, citizens who are supporting education in our state by their service, legislators who support education, and most of all, with these students that are here on this stage and throughout this audience that are the future of our state. I'm excited that Oklahoma has developed a creative plan to raise standards and accountability, and improve teacher evaluation and principal evaluation and school evaluation and support for those. I believe in reforms that will help these students and students across our state to be better educated, to be better citizens, to be servants of society, and to make our state a better state and a more educated state. Thank you so much for letting me be here today in this exciting announcement. Thank you.
As well. We think it's important to have a few remarks from those administrators and superintendents that are going to be working with this day in and day out in their districts. And we've asked Mr. Scott Parks, who is the superintendent of Howell Public Schools, to make a few remarks. Superintendent.
Thank you, Superintendent Barresi, for allowing me to be here, and I want to voice my appreciation for you and your staff for all of your efforts for this flexibility request that's been approved. I also want to voice my appreciation to the U.S. Department of Education for realizing and acknowledging that Oklahomans are creative. You know, we've been known as a state of creativity by circles amongst those across the world, and I think this is an example of the U.S. Department of Education acknowledging that we know best how to not only educate but interpret our efforts as we educate our students. You know, change often is difficult, and when we hear the word reform, sometimes it takes on a negative connotation, but I like to look at the positive. I like to look at this as an opportunity to come together, work together, because bottom line, we all want what's best for our students. And reform is necessary, not to judge whether we've done a good job or not. Certainly we all face challenges. We'd be dishonest with ourselves if we don't acknowledge that we have challenges along the way, and we need to fix that, because a challenge means we've fallen short in some way. But I think reform is an absolute, because our world is changing at a dramatic pace. Very similar to that of technology and the impact of technology in the information age, and those changes are taking place. We're no longer in the game of just trying to become such that they learn how to be good learners, that they know how to engage in an ever-changing age, that they may see and experience or have to engage with something that they've never had experiences. Are they going to be able to interact with it? I think that's our job as educators, is to prepare our students to engage in an environment where they may not have had all the experiences that lend that, but they know how to adjust and engage and interact with that environment. And I think that will make them productive citizens, that'll make them college ready, that'll make them career ready, by us empowering them to learn how to be a good learner. So we, on behalf of Howell Public Schools, a rural school district in the state, embrace this opportunity, look forward to engaging and interacting with the department to see how this can, I hope, better interpret the successes that we have, because I think some things have been overshadowed along the way. Successes have been overshadowed, and I think that the plan clearly allows for a more detailed analysis of what we're doing and the accomplishments we have within the task at hand, and what our students are actually achieving, not only academically, not only as it's indicated on the test, but also as it relates to the community, the environment, the challenges they face along the way, and how they overcome those challenges, how we help them on behalf of our teachers and administrators, help them through those challenges. So we look forward to it, and we appreciate your efforts.
We thought it was important to also get the perspective of an administrator working in our districts every day. And so finally, I'd like to, but definitely not least, I'd like to recognize Ms. Kathy Dunn, and who is, as I said, is the Executive Director of Federal Programs for Teaching and Learning for the Middle Schools. Ms. Dunn.
Dr. Barresi, I'm excited today. I'm convinced, well, not convinced, but I think we may not see Middle Schools scrolling across the bottom of the television screen for a snow day this year. But I want to tell the media, we want to see our schools, when the reward schools are named, we want to see that recognition scrolling across the bottom of that television screen. We're really excited about that recognition. You've heard several mention the ability now that we'll be measured by individual growth and success of students, individual students, but we also have the flexibility to serve those students with our monies where the needs are, rather than all of the constraints that have been placed on those federal dollars. The waivers open up some flexibility for that. We also are excited about the term in the waiver that says ambitious but attainable learning goals. That is so important to us as we move forward with the challenges of adopting Common Core instruction in the classrooms and the challenge of the new performance-based assessments that our students will really get to show what our students can do, not just what they know. Teacher and leader evaluation systems, and I believe Ann Cootie mentioned the support system that's built into that. That's really important to us because what we're anxious to get about the business of, which we have been in the business of, but daily working with our new waivers and our new systems of getting better. Student growth, teacher growth, leader growth, and a better product for the state of Oklahoma, a better experience for our children. And we really appreciate this opportunity to celebrate.